Welcome everyone to GVS Deep Dive. I'm Najma Minhas. So much went on this week that I really wanted to share my views with you on several topics since I was traveling back in the United Kingdom. I wasn't able to do my usual vlog on Tuesday. From Signalgate to the VK and Mrs. Vance's unwanted visit to Greenland, Trump bleak Canadians and Europeans even further, to Marco Rubio's derision of young students. What the bleep? If in a crazy league, which has seriously got me wonder if inmates from a loony bin have been let loose and taken control of the United States. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate it, and do click on the notification bell for videos which I try to bring out every Tuesday and Saturday. Starting with what's now become known as Signalgate. Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, published a story on how he knew about the war plans to attack the Houthis in Yemen before the attack happened, because he was accidentally added to a top-secret signal chat, which had on it United States Vice President JD Vance, Pete Hegseth, the Defense Secretary, Michael Waltz, the National Security Advisor, and some others. Signal is a secure messaging app which is known for its end-to-end encryption, known to be a million times better and more secretive than WhatsApp. However, unlike WhatsApp, which is run by the money-grabbing Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg, Signal is run by a non-profit-making foundation and does not collect any user data. So it is generally considered much safer, but it's still a commercial messaging app. And it has raised in the United States all kinds of questions over national security protocols and the use of encrypted messaging apps for sensitive communications. President Trump's response has been his usual response, going on the offensive and attacking the journalists in Pirzada.
I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business.
However, the issue is not dying down and has brought up comparisons with what Donald Trump said at his own first presidential campaigns, where he constantly railed against Hillary Clinton for her use of a private email server through which she exchanged tons of thousands of emails containing classified material when she was Secretary of State. We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified, he said in September 2016. Even Republicans are not happy. In the first poll done on the issue, 3 out of 4 Americans, including 60% of Republicans, say the Trump administration's use of the Signal group chat to discuss military strides is a serious problem. And this problem is not going away. And there's a real potential that a scalp will have to be sacrificed to the pressure that's coming on the administration. And it seems Donald Trump has decided who it will be. Earlier, having defended Mike Waltz for being a good man, Donald Trump has now tentatively suggested, I would imagine it had nothing to do with anyone else. It was Mike. I guess I don't know. I always thought it was Mike. At the same time, President Trump questioned why Hegseth was receiving any scrutiny, despite the fact that the Defense Secretary was the one who shared the sensitive details about the operation, including the launch times. He's hoping that he only has to let one man go, and if the issue continues burning, and it's not going to be the former Fox anchor. Then we have the new second lady, Usha Vance, going on X I should say, and announcing that she was going to visit Greenland. Then the Vice President jumps in, and he says she's getting such a great response that he's decided to join her to check out what's going on with the security there.
Around Usha's visit to Greenland this Friday, that I decided that I didn't want her to have all that fun by herself, and so I'm going to join her. And also just check out what's going on with the security there of Greenland.
The situation was particularly unusual because such high-profile visits typically occur at the invitation of the host country. In this case, Greenland's government has explicitly stated that no invitation can be extended for any visits, neither private nor official. In fact, they pick out a statement on the Facebook saying words to this effect as well. The outgoing Greenlandic Prime Minister Moeed called the visit at a time when Greenland was going through a process of forming a new government as being provocation. However, this backlash from Greenland made them change or scale back their plight, and they only visited the US military installation called the Pirzada Space Gate, which is miles away from any civilian population center. The base was established in 1951 by the United States during the Cold War and part of the country's defense strategy against the Soviet Union. It was originally named as a fuel airbase and was renamed in 2023 to reflect the expanded, now space-focused mission. However, President Trump, ignoring all diplomatic niceties when he was asked about the trip, said his administration must let them know that we need Greenland for international safety and security. We need it. We have to have it. It's an island from a defensive posture and is an offensive posture. It's something we need. When you look at the ships going up their shore by the hundreds, it's a busy place.
The message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. You have underinvested in the people of Greenland, and you have underinvested in the security architecture of this incredible, beautiful landmass filled with incredible people.
Russian President Putin, who has now had 2 calls with Donald Trump, also waded into the discussion. Recently, when he was speaking at the Policy Forum in the Arctic port city of Vances, he remarked that he's not surprised that the United States wants control of this semi-autonomous Danish territory. America's proposition shouldn't be seen as extravagant talk, he says. It can look surprising only at the first glance. It would be wrong to believe that this is some sort of extravagant talk by the current US administration. It's obvious that the United States will continue to systematically advance a geostrategic, military, political, and economic interests in the Arctic. His comments, which were not critical of Trump's intentions. Putin also noted that the United States first considered plans to win control over Greenland in the 19th century, and then offered to buy it from Denmark after World War II as well. In his speech, he also outlined Russia's own plan for the Arctic, saying it was a critical priority to improve transport and logistics in the region. He went on to pledge that he would strengthen Russia's military foothold in the Arctic, for that Moscow was holding the door open to a broader international cooperation in the region. Now, his words suggest that he's potentially had a discussion with Donald Trump on Greenland. The stronger our position will be, the more significant the result will be, and the broader opportunity we will have to launch international projects in the Arctic, involving the countries that are friendly to us and possibly Western countries if they show interest in joint work. I'm sure the time will come to launch such projects, Putin said. As for Greenland, this is a matter for 2 Pacific countries. It has nothing to do with us. Interesting words. There's no doubt that Putin is a very smart man and definitely knows how to handle Donald Trump. At the same time, an invasion or a forced acquisition of Greenland leave a moral equivalency with Russian action in Ukraine and what Donald Trump has proposed to do on a number of occasions with Greenland. I have done a whole vlog on why the United States wants Greenland. Do check it out. I will put a link to it in the description below as well. The Trump administration is irreparably damaging its relationship with close allies who will never trust the United States again. They forgave the United States for the election of Trump once, thinking he was a blip. But the second time, it's proving that given his actions, that the country have moved in a divergent path to where it was in the past 7 decades. And the post-World War II era has come to a full stop. JD Vance, who is acting as his heir apparent, despite the fact that Trump has not actually endorsed him when he was asked a couple of weeks ago, he has not himself endeared himself either to any of the country's allies either. Europe is saying no to Trump on lifting sanctions on Russia as part of their agreement to eliminate the use of force in the Black Sea. Sanctions remain a cheap leveraging tool that European leaders are not willing to give up easily. Leaders from 30 nations and the head of NATO met in Paris on Thursday as part of the France-UK-led Coalition of the Willing, which was spearheaded following Trump's re-entrance into the White House, and amid concerns that the United States can no longer be considered a reliable partner for Ukraine or Europe. the US was not invited to this international summit. Now, coming to the United States' oldest and nearest ally, Canada. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has said that the country's old relationship with the United States is over.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations, is over.
One telling statistic is the number of Canadians booking flights to the United States. It's their traditional vacation place. Over 20 million Canadians came to the US in 2024, bringing in around $21 billion to the economy from tourism alone. Now, forward bookings are down 76% in April, from 1.3 million down to 290,000. It reflects the huge antipathy growing between ordinary Canadians and their view on the Trump administration, and potentially for future Canadian-US relations also. Trump's actions are also having an impact on Canadian election, as Mark Carney takes lead over the Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre in the poll. Poilievre is compared ideologically to President Donald Trump, and he was leading in the poll for months until the US-Canada tension rose. Now, domestically, the Looney Bin inmates have arrested students for expressing their views on Palestine. Democrats have condemned the actions of the Trump administration. The Massachusetts representative posted on X, snatching an international student off our street who is lawfully in our country and attending one of our universities, and then bundling her off to an ICE detention center 1,700 miles away without a hearing is a sickening reminder of the Gestapo-like conduct from another age. Particularly disturbing has been the video of the Turkish PhD student Rümeysa Öztürk from Tufts University, which is considered one of the US's top premier university. She was picked up off the street, apparently heading off to have open her iftar with her friends by plainclothes officers. And what was her crime? It was to write a pro-Palestinian op-ed that she supports divesting from Israel. Exercising your right to free speech is a fundamental right under the United States Constitution. It seems it's no longer considered a sacred right. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that the U.S. has revoked at least 300 foreign student visas as part of President Donald Trump's efforts to clamp down on pro-Palestinian protesters on university campuses. Remember, this is being done for the sake of another country, Israel. It's not even being done because these students have said extreme things about the United States itself. Maybe more than 300 at this point, Marco Rubio said while speaking to reporters on a visit to Guyana. We do it every day, every time I find one of these lunatics. Protesting political freedom and free speech were fundamental rights in the United States, and they went a long way in making the United States the exceptional country that it was in many ways. And then we have Donald Trump, sounding less like a president and more like the mafioso running a protection racket. Nice app he got there. Would be a shame if something happened to it.
We'll find the one that's best for the country, for our country. To play a role in that, possibly, in the form of an approval. Give them a little reduction in tariffs or something to get it done.
Donald Trump's arch nemesis, Hillary Clinton, has just written a scathing op-ed in the New York Times, where she has criticized the slash-and-burn governing style of the Trump administration, accusing it of undermining U.S. military strength with a string of self-inflicted wounds, trashing diplomatic relations, and abandoning America's strategic edge. It looks like Dumb and Dumber are leading the United States down an abyss. And the way they are doing it, the world doesn't seem that it's going to be a better place for it. And while this is all happening in China, DeepSeek has just released version 3, and humanoid robots are all over Chinese social media. The country just had its annual China Development Forum in Beijing, during which Chinese President Xi Jinping met with over 40 international business leaders and called on them to invest in China is to invest in tomorrow. He's urged them to uphold the global order. Apple CEO Tim Cook was among those who attended the conference, while the president's first buddy, Tesla CEO Elon Musk, stood out conspicuously by his accents. Give me your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss. Thank you for giving me your time today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do share and subscribe to your channel. Hopefully see you on Tuesday.